Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is cameras in public schools. And more than that, actually, the influence of the new policies as far as controlling behavior of students based on what I've seen. Now, it's been a minute since I was in high school, but going back to the 90s, we didn't have cameras. We did not have digital cameras everywhere. And it had a trade-off. It had good and bad things about that, obviously. Well, maybe not obvious that there were good things about it, but that's what I want to mention. So there are some counterintuitive trade-offs, and I want to highlight those. So, for example, by putting cameras everywhere, you're doing it obviously for the interests of liability and safety, keeping people insured and safe while they're in the camera, in the field of view, so to speak. But that's the thing, there's a field of view, right? Every camera has a field of view, doesn't it? Even if it's a 360 camera, it's still got a range, it's got a field of view, and what you're doing is you're encouraging people to do things off camera, or at least planting that idea in their head, if nothing else. So here's the thing. When it's a bigger subject, actually, it's a bigger issue by redirecting the power that used to have to come from people directly. You're giving it to technology, and you're teaching that lesson. That's the biggest problem. Not that you're doing it, but that you're teaching it. You're teaching that the solution to conflicts or being safe and being responsible is about forcing people's hand by way of using technology. And it's more than just cameras, isn't it? If we're being honest, it's a whole package involving keys, passwords, rules, cameras, and a lot of locks and that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, none of that is a human being, is it? There's no emphasis on integrity or honesty or responsibility, doing things correctly or ethically. There's just no discussion about that. It's do what we say because you have to. Literally, you have no other choice, or do it off camera, and that's kind of what ends up happening, isn't it? Now, my concern is that the atmosphere, not just the atmosphere, it's an unpleasant, uncomfortable atmosphere. Just looking at cameras gives you kind of an uneasy feeling. I'll speak for myself. I feel like if I'm in the view of a camera for too long, I start to feel like I've got surveillance sickness. I don't know if that's a thing. I feel like it should be a thing, surveillance sickness. But I guess you get used to it. Some people do, especially if you never knew differently. But coming from a school system where they just simply didn't have this stuff, yeah, there were some shenanigans, but there was also a reason to think about shenanigans, right? That's the other side of it. You learn to, not do pranks for the right reasons, not because you have no other choice. You learn to practice not being a fool. But now there's no practice. That's the problem. There's no practice. There's no ownership of decisions because the choice has been taken. The choice belongs to the administrators now. So I guess I'll wrap up the video by emphasizing ownership of choice yet again. It seems to be a recurring theme in a lot of my videos. When somebody makes a choice, they own the outcome. If I choose something for you, whatever comes out of that choice belongs to me because I made that choice, and vice versa. Ownership is huge. It may be the only valuable thing that we have besides freedom. And even freedom's a type of ownership. It's ownership of your destiny, ultimately, choosing what to do with yourself. So cameras, locks, passwords, rules, laws even, these are all forms of stealing ownership of choice. The administrator's telling you what to do in one way or another. So biggest problem is there's no opportunity to grow and become stronger at making decisions, at being responsible and doing the right thing. So what do you expect? It's a circular problem. Anyway, if you have questions or comments, please reach out to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.